Hi, today we're going to do some radical division with binomials in the denominator. Whenever you have a binomial, meaning two groups down on the bottom, whenever we're dealing with radicals, whenever we're dealing with fractions, you are never, ever, ever allowed to have a radical downstairs in the bottom of the fraction. So we have to do something called rationalize the denominator. We have to get rid of this by multiplying by something. We multiply by something called a conjugate. A conjugate is something similar to what we already have with one small little change. So let's look at that. Can't have this radical 3, so I'm going to multiply this whole fraction by a value of 1. That value of 1 is going to be something over itself. I'm going to look for the denominator for answers. And I'm going to look for this 3 radical 3, 3 radical 3. So as long as I have something over itself. Now, if you notice, I didn't put an operation in the middle. So when we rationalize by the conjugate is, I'm looking at this, and instead of that positive, I'm going to put a negative. So I'm going to take like another variation of what we already have. Now, once you set that up, let's just distribute out and see where that leads us. So down here, we're going to say 4 times 3 gives us 12, and then 4 times negative radical 3 minus 4 radical 3. On the bottom, we're going to have to multiply these two together. Start with 3 times 3, giving us 9. We're going to say 3 distributed to this, minus 3 radical 3. Now we need to distribute radical 3 to both. We're going to get positive 3 radical 3, and then negative radical 9. So the reason why we use this conjugate, this plus minus thing, is because in our denominator, something really neat happens. We have a negative 3 radical 3 and a positive 3 radical 3. I don't have to do that math. They just cancel out with each other. So it simplifies for us. Now we need to just kind of put things together. Negative radical 9 is going to give me negative 3, so that's gone. And I can kind of put all this together. 12 minus 4 radical 3 all over 9 minus 3, giving us 6. Sometimes we can stop here, sometimes we can go further. In this case, we can go further because I'm looking at my outside numbers, 12, 4, and 6. They're all even numbers. They all share a number. They all share 2. So let's divide all those outside numbers by a 2. And I get 6 minus 2, bring that radical 3, and then that turns to a 3 on the bottom. And we call it a day. It's a matter of, can you simplify all the numbers by something or none? So here 6 and 3 share something. Don't care. It's got to be all of them. Let's try it again. So I want to multiply by the conjugate here. So my conjugate, I'm going to have negative 4 radical 2, negative 4 radical 2. I only want to change my denominator center operation. This sign in the middle, it says a minus, turns to a plus. Notice that this negative in front did not change. It's only that middle sign. Okay, now we need to distribute, multiply. All right, distribute that 3. We're going to say negative 12. Distribute 3 again. You're going to get 3 radical 2. Running out of room, so I'll say distribute those. Negative, negative, positive. 4 radical 2. Distribute again. Negative, positive is negative, giving us radical 4. On the bottom, we're going to do the same thing. Multiply negative 4, giving us positive 16. Negative 4 and radical 2. Now we need to distribute the second half. Positive 4 radical 2 and negative radical 4. So we're getting an ugly answer here. I mean, this thing's huge, but there's a lot of simplifying that we can do. Now, before we do that, I want to recognize that I have a negative radical 4, negative radical 4. positive radical 2, positive 4 radical 2. These are the same. I cannot just cross them out because they're over each other. This whole top is one big thing. This whole bottom is one big thing. Just because they share one itty bitty little detail, I can't just cancel them out. But I can still simplify stuff. So let's simplify. Up top, I want to combine these. We have radical 2's. Let's add the numbers in front. So we're going to get a 7 radical 2. I'm going to cancel them out. Over here, I could rewrite that and say negative 2 when I simplify. Now I want to combine these, giving us negative 14. I'm going to put that in the front. On the bottom, negative 4 radical 2, positive 4 radical 2, they're the same. They cancel out. They're opposites, rather. They cancel out. And we have a negative 2 down here again. 16 minus 2, giving us 14. So normally, most times we might be able to stop here. But again, there's one thing we can do. We can simplify. 14, 14, and 7, they all share a number. That number they share is 7. So let's divide everything by a 7. And we're going to end up with negative 2 plus 1 radical 2 all over 2. Now, can I cancel this 2 with that 2 and that? Nope. These 2 are on the outside. This 2 is on the inside. All separate kind of 2's. And ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, that is dividing radicals with a binomial on the bottom by using conjugates.